engaging in corporate work. It's usually just like
Okay.
workshop facilitation
I
and
think we're
potentially some executive coaching, team training, by all means. Oh, just is okay.
okay.
We're scooting. We're scooting. Oh, that's yours.
Okay. We're about to get started.
So is it like getting people copies to
Okay.
All of that stuff.
Is everyone hydrated? Everyone got their snacks?
It's
All
just
right.
oh, they're different because
So-
for them it's more organizational consulting.
Okay.
Because a lot of them are structural.
Waiting for the judges.
They have a lot of structural gaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
As well
So-
as people gaps.
So we're about to get started. We're about to get started.
I want you to remind everybody that they have to be enthusiastic. That they come up in there and do their engineering school vote. They're not going to buy, sell anything.
Okay. Got it. All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey,
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
yeah,
Welcome to the 13th Annual Innovation Challenge here at Manhattan University. Everyone's good? My name is Winston Peters. I am an adjunct professor here at Manhattan University. Also, I am the interim president of the Bronx Economic Development Corporation here in the Bronx. I'm excited for today. Again, this is the 13th Annual Innovation Challenge, and the way that the Innovation Challenge has grown over the years has really helped birth the entrepreneurship program here. And so what we are here to do is to help students get a jump start into entrepreneurship wherever they may fall in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Some of you are founders, some of you might want to be founders, some of you might want to just work for a startup. Here at Manhattan, we're here to help foster that for you in whatever part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem that you want to be in. And again, here is a great day for all of the hard work that students have put in for the whole year to really showcase their business ideas so that they can grow from local to global. So again, congratulations to everyone that is here, and we're looking forward to seeing all of these amazing presentations. Next slide. Okay. I want to introduce our judges here today. Our first judge is Mike Kelly. Mike Kelly, an alum of Manhattan from 1980, and a managing partner of Yellow Thread Ventures, which funds early stage and other growth-oriented companies. He's also a member of the screening committee for the Delaware Crossing Investor Group. He's a graduate from Manhattan, as already mentioned. He's founded the On Call International in 1995, a leading provider in medical security and travel assistance as well. He sold that company, and also what's special about Mike is that he's been a great partner, he's been a great collaborator, he's been a great mentor here for students, as well as just nurturing the entrepreneurship program. So again, Mike Kelly, we appreciate you. We thank you for your work and for your contribution here as well. Our next judge, I'm not, even though I'm labeled as I'm not a judge, but our next judge is Pedro Soto. He's a senior underwriter at the Bronx Economic Development Corporation, ensuring businesses have access to financial resources that they need to grow. He specializes in underwriting, credit risk assessments, and financial due diligence, evaluating loan application and structural financing solutions in compliance with SBA, which is Small Business Association, and the BXEDC guidelines. Pedro collaborates with loan officers and the fiscal department to manage the loan pipeline, track third-party reports, and monitor ongoing compliance with loan covenants. So essentially, that's a lot. But what Pedro really does is help business owners bring their ideas and help their ideas grow by giving them access to capital. And so kind of what we're here for today. It's students giving them access to capital so that they can grow and scale their business. That's what Pedro does on a daily, helping businesses grow and scale and providing them capital to do so. So thank you, Pedro. Our last but not least judge is Rashida Frazier, is the founder of Empowering Greatness, where Rashida provides strategic consulting and advisory support centered on 3 pillars: leadership, systems, and teams. We love systems. We love systems. We talk a lot about systems. This work helps organizations move from reactive operation to proactive leadership, strengthening how decisions are made, how teams function, and how the business actually runs. Rashida works with service-based businesses, nonprofits, and leadership teams that have outgrown hustle and their need for clearer structure. I met Rashida maybe about 2 years ago, at a entrepreneurial event downtown, and we had a great conversation just about systems and how entrepreneurs need to grow. And again, it's a great that she's here today just to help these student entrepreneurs understand how to grow them and give proactive insights as well. So again, thank you to the judges here today. Just a bit of the format. So in terms of the pitch, all the students they have 5 minutes to pitch their idea. I'll be keeping time, and I'll be standing to the side, let you know when you have like 30 seconds left. And then the judges have 6 minutes for Q&A, similar to Shark Tank. The judging criteria will be based on the value proposition, marketing and customer development, the economics, how are you going to make money, organization and execution, and presentation style and content. And so with that, some of my students are here today is when you're presenting, you have to think like $1 million is on the line every single time, because you never know when you'll get a second chance. So you have to bring the energy, you have to bring enthusiasm into your presentation, because you never know when that moment actually is. And so for all of the students who are to come up here, just remember, if you're not excited, how are the judges are going to be excited? Because again, we have investors, we have advisors, we have people who actually provide access to capital. And so if you're not enthused about your idea, how are they going to be enthused about your idea? And so again, we look forward to seeing these presentations today. And again, have fun, but also this is a great opportunity. Before we get started, I would like to turn it over to Dean Gurgis.
Good evening and welcome to the 13th Annual Innovation Challenge. I'm Hani Gurgis, Dean of O'Malley School of Business. Innovation Challenge, our flagship entrepreneurship competition hosted by the entrepreneurs at Manhattan University and the O'Malley School of Business. It's a dynamic, campus-wide event modeled after the Shark Tank format. Students from every major are invited to present their most promising startup ideas for a chance to win a share of $10,000 in prizes. Throughout the academic year, participants take part in workshops, mentorship sessions, networking opportunities designed to strengthen their business plans and sharpen their pitches. Tonight, live stream final represent the highlight of that work, giving the students the opportunity to showcase their venture and gain real-world entrepreneurial experience. Why innovations? Innovation has been the primary engine of productivity growth in the United States. Economic theory makes clear that capital accumulation alone cannot sustain long-run growth. Only advances in technology, knowledge, and organization practices can push production frontier outward. Innovation enables firms and workers to generate more value from the same inputs and fuel combative pressures that encourage efficiency and continuous improvement. Since 2000, real gross domestic product has grown at an average annual rate of approximately 2.3%. Over this period, combined contribution of our work per employee, total employment, labor force participation rate, and population growth has been minimal, implying little net growth in labor input. In contrast, productivity growth measured by business sector labor productivity has accounted for nearly the 2.3% increase in real GDP. Many studies from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas show that increase in non-defense government research and development yield long-run return of 140 to 210%, accounting for roughly 1/5 of business sector total factor productivity growth since World War II. Also, at the firm level, evidence from major US data sets show that periods of heightened innovation lead to surges in new firms and subsequent gains in industry level productivity, especially in high-tech sectors. There are many studies support this claim. Taken together, the evidence is clear. Innovation, particularly through sustained investment in research and development, has been a decisive driver of US productivity growth and will remain essential to the nation's long-term economic trajectory and real gross domestic product. Building on this clear evidence of the value of innovations, our campus community has embraced collaboration to turn ideas into actions. This can be illustrated by the breadth of talent presented. We have a team participant and 5 teams from both O'Malley School of Business and the School of Engineering. Successful startup requires a blend of technical expertise, product insight, market strategy, and so on. The fact that students themselves formed this interdisciplinary team show they understand this reality. The impact of this cross-campus collaboration can be seen directly in innovation projects our team will deliver today. For example, Team Zoner transforms complex public and third-party data sets into a structured, user-guided ranking system of home buyers and developers. It applies advanced data modeling and computation design to bring clarity to real estate decision-making. Team Helical Water Turbine developed a refined helical water turbine optimized for the size and the flow condition of major river system. Their engineering approach emphasized turning conceptual design into durable, efficient working prototypes. Team Rest and Dress use AI to digitize wardrobes and deliver personalized outfit recommendations based on weather, event, and style. The platform blends fashion insight with machine learning personalization to simplify daily decision making. Team Santiago introduced startup fashion brand focusing on quality and personal identity. Team Catalyst Lab is student-run startup incubator. Each summer, the project funds a cohort of student interns to build new venture under the team's membership, leading to New York City showcase open to students, founders, and investors. Finally, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Mike Kelly for his generous sponsorship. As a successful entrepreneur, he knows firsthand the importance of having supporters who believe in your vision. I would like also to thank our judges, Rashida Fraser, Mike Kelly, and Pedro Soto, and how they are going to judge, and the time is already explained by Winston. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Jurgis. And so with that, are we, okay, just waiting for one piece of technology. We forgot our clicker. But for our first group, thank you very much. Some small technical difficulties, but we are about to, our first group up will be Zoner, Ashley, David, and Bryce. Where's the minutes? Come on, we have to come on. We're
You
waiting
can have
for.
somebody, we're gonna have the clicker in a bit.
Where's Chitty at, bro? You want to get somebody from the crowd so we can be walking around?
We just have to talk on the next slide.
Can y'all come over here? Okay, you guys ready? Okay. Hello, everybody. We are presenting Zoner, a real estate intelligence platform, because we believe that growth doesn't happen anywhere, but it happens in the right zone. I am Ashley Okanunka, the CEO.
My name is David Kima. I'm the COO.
I'm Bryce Knight, the CTO, and our front developer's actually here, Mateo, and Justin couldn't make it tonight, but he's our back-end guy making all these things happen.
Today, we're going to take you through the problem, the solution, and our path to scale. Does anybody remember the 2008 housing crisis or crash? I personally don't because I was 4, but I know people here do. So a lot of first-time home buyers experience like foreclosures, and developers, because of the trickle-down, also experience like development in the wrong zone. So Zoner is created to make sure that never happens again. Developers spend a lot of time doing manual research, listing platforms optimize price, not growth. And also for home buyers, everyone here is interested in buying a home one day. People right now go on Zillow, etc., a whole bunch of different platforms, and they see listings, platforms, and budget, things that are not geared towards priorities, needs, and niches. And Zoner is making sure that that is what it's geared towards. Oh wait, I actually have a question beforehand. What is the first thing that you use? I mean, what's the first thing that you look for when you're buying a home? Safety. Okay. Anybody? Price. Transit. Great answers.
You know what companies don't take that into consideration? Next slide, please. Redfin, CoStar, Reonomy, Apartments.com, and especially Zillow. This kind of surprised me. Zillow being an almost $10 billion company, Zillow doesn't take into account the fact that people need safety around their homes. In fact, I want to bring up a study that was done in 2023. They ended up losing $300 million because they relied on AI to price their homes without taking into consideration what homebuyers were actually looking for. So things like infrastructure, things like safety, things like walkability, transit, etc. Next slide, please. And that's where Zoner comes into play. Zoner offers these solutions to people looking to buy homes, even people looking to develop property. Zoner gives you free access for home buyers, so obviously you get access to searching based off your own priorities. So let's say you want to rank safety as a number one, especially for a lot of women. I know that's a big thing. Safety can be number one, so Zoner gives you options to do that. It also gives you options to rank your zoning if you prefer to live in an area with a lot of construction. Maybe it'll bring a lot of business to the area, and that goes hand in hand with property developers, right? So if you're a property developer, you see a lot of construction in the area, you might say, hey, this might offer me a high return on investment in this area, or if it's a lot of parks or schools nearby, that might be an area that you're interested in buying. It's whatever is made for you. That's what Zoner essentially does. And there's a lot of addressable market for something like Zoner to come into the play. And Bryce is gonna talk a little bit more about that.
So the biggest thing we talked about is all these different issues and solutions, but our market's worth $44 billion, and we think we can address the 112,000 of the property developers that actually exist right now. We think if we get 5% of that, that'd be 5,600 of those developers, and about that number, the ballpark would be 14 million that we could address and actually service with our business model. We think that it makes sense to having 2 tiers, so we can address small and mid-size, and then having an enterprise version for larger firms. And we also want to keep a freemium for every home buyer. So everybody in the room, we believe that zone's for everyone. So our biggest costs and fixed costs are mainly our data sourcing, and then also our property, our product development. And then our last thing actually would be our tools to actually make things happen. We've been able to keep our legal fees down due to David having opportunities through his entrepreneurship program, and also project development by keeping it in-house. We've actually been able to jumpstart our traction by actually working with people actually out on Manhattan. So keeping our prices down has allowed us to be able to start our MVP development, launching our program, and actually jumpstarting actually this April next week, and also be able to launch our legal fees a lot quicker due to David.
Yeah, so we were pilgrimaging these streets in the Bronx and Dyckman and downtown a couple of weeks ago, asking people on the streets, what they prefer when they're buying homes, what they prefer to see. We've got a lot of responses, 80 home buyer surveys, as you can see, 15 interviews, 5 developer interviews, and we've been to a couple of real estate networking events where we've had discussions with people that actually buy properties and invest in this, so we understand what the users would actually want, property developers and home buyers. And through that, we've also been able to get into a couple of competitions like the Manhattan Innovation Challenge now. Oh, wait, sorry. Go back. Okay, yeah, sorry. So yeah, we've been able to get to this challenge, obviously. We've been able to be finalists in the USA Code Launch cohort, RBS Experiential Learning Showcase, especially something the Girls Who Code pitch competition. That's a nationally recognized organization. We've been able to win that competition a couple of weeks ago, so that's something we're proud of. And we've also been able to get into a Web Summit startup program in Portugal. So we've been accepted into that. So we're building a lot of product validation and seeing that Zoner is actually something that can help people long term.
We are currently seeking 100K pre-seed to continue our vision. And our vision is the future of real estate. We believe that growth does not happen anywhere, but it happens in the right zone. And Zoner is helping you to find that. So the question that we always ask everybody is, what's your zone? And we hope that one day we're able to answer that for you.
Well, now it's time for the judges' questions. Who would like to lead off?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you said home buyers, you said developers. Would this app also potentially be good for business owners who are looking for brick and mortars, who are looking for specific areas for high foot traffic, for different things like that as well? Or are you just limiting it to home buyers and developers at this moment?
So at this moment, we're about home buyers, first-time home buyers, and anybody in the room is looking to buy a home. But one thing we spoke about as well is with our data sourcing model, we can look at doing different things. So if you have the model and have sourcing for different data points, you can be a business and be like, hey, I'm looking for this high foot traffic, looking for more transit opportunities, and go looking into that. So if I'm starting a business, a coffee shop, I might start a business that's more a lot of foot traffic, a lot of business around me. You can look at those different things going on. So answer your question, yes.
And just to kind of follow up on that, if they were a business owner, I would assume that they would probably use the property developer side of the application. So let's say they're, like you said, they're trying to buy a coffee shop, for example, a brick and mortar store. They would probably have more success maybe in New York City as opposed to a place like Sedona, Arizona. So those are insights that they would get from the data analytics that Zoner provides.
Hey guys, so I hear you guys talking about your target market being home buyers. Now, understanding statistics, home buyer age has gone up significantly. With that being in the forefront of awareness, I would like to ask a question based on how you plan on targeting an older group that essentially you're correct, everybody's looking for home ownership based on using technology like this. Again, yeah.
Honestly, so I can use my coach as example. He's like in his 60s, and I see him on TikTok as well. So I don't think that like honestly that technology is limiting just even towards age. So we're using like social media platforms. We did outreach here in the Bronx. We went all over Dyckman Street, George Washington Bridge, etc. And we're really trying to push Zoner out in every avenue possible. Whether that be LinkedIn, whether that be in person, whether that be ads and through marketing. We're tackling all of that. So that's how we're gonna reach that older demographic as well.
I just want to follow up on Pedro because I really love the concept, but I disagree with your questions. I think that, because I've been through this, and one of my daughters just bought a house, schools, activities, parks, they're the things that drive a lot of, if you have a child that has special needs, you need to find the right school to put that child in.
Yes.
So that data is really hard to find, believe it or not. And your format, based on a demographic group, the more expensive the home, the more complicated their information is, requirements are going to be. How far to work, which subways do I take? Which buses do I take? How do I get? But I think that if you look at different demographic groups, you're going to find that, for instance, because I live in the suburbs, safety is not a big issue for me. So I think when you build your model, you're going to have to look at different demographic groups. And I pick up on, excuse me, what Pedro said about his choices. So thank you.
Wait, can I comment on that really quick?
Please.
Because the point of zoner is so you're able to rank your own priorities, so what you see fit. So if you are living in the suburbs, you have a certain set amount of budget, do you rank safety number one? But maybe you don't. So you're able to rank like nightlife, school ratings, etc. first. I am building this platform with a brother that has autism. So I'm very aware of like special ed programs that are based in like New Jersey and California, or those really like democratic states and those democratic cities that have those special education programs. So we're taking that all into account because that honestly is public, and that's how my mother was also able to find that to place my brother through that system. So we're taking that all into account, and everybody has their own priorities, their needs. And if that, like my mother, is looking towards those type of needs, her search is going to be tailored in that way, honestly.
We have time? Could you explain to me what is it that you plan to do if you raise the 100K in pre-seed money? How do you plan on using that?
So the biggest thing is paying people. So people that are here helping us develop it, and then also our data sourcing tunnels. That costs a lot of money getting data. That's one of the things that's gonna be a big cost for us to do. And then also our furthering our legal fees by getting licensing done, so we can actually get out to developers and whatnot and actually start making money. I don't know if I answered that fully for you.
Huh?
Did I answer that fully? Perfect.
So part of following up on the question and the statement is the reason why I'm asking this is because if you have a target for $100,000, how much of that is being used towards acquiring a customer? Essentially, depending on the age, there are going to be different means and different streams that people are going to gain that awareness of the platform and its usability, and there's going to be a conversion rate for which of those platforms you're using. So I'm wondering, have you guys looked at, again, your target audience and specifically where your biggest niche is going to be at?
So one thing we had to do for code launch was do a market validation and do a customer discovery. And one thing we looked at was how are you going to do that? Biggest thing for our generation is social media, so TikTok, Instagram, and online. And it's about $17 to get that done in year one, and then another $12 for travel for different conferences to meet the older groups of people.
And I'm trying to tie it. I mean, we have like for use of funds, yeah, I can look at it that we dedicate like 20 to 25% of that for use of funds as well. And Code Launch made us go through, like, again, like you said, the market validation. And then, I mean, you can go back like one more actually. And then we were able, no, one more, come back. Look, like, wait, yo. So, wait, cause, okay, anyways, it was like, we were able to get like 80 plus home buyer responses. We were able to get 50 early access signups, 15 home buyer interviews, etc. So we interviewed these people directly in the streets to ask them like directly about what they need. And we're also making our product based around that. So thank you.
Thank you, Zona. Thank you. Our next group up is the MECC introducing the energy absorbing breakwater. We have Augustus. Again, just as a reminder, you have 5 minutes for the presentation, and the judges have 6 minutes for questions. You have, here is your clicker. Let me just. I believe this, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, here we go.
So, can I?
Floor is yours.
Begin anytime. My teammates Isaiah and Augustus, and today we are going to be talking about our presentation, which is related to MECC. So MECC is the Marine Energy Collegiate Competition, and we are going to be presenting a energy absorbing breakwater turbine, which is also known as EAB. Okay. So I'm sure a lot of us probably drove here today, and with the cost of gas only going up, why don't we start off by talking about the problems with gas? So not only is it expensive, it's inefficient, but it also leads to a lot of ecological problems. So to address those, we created a modular wave energy breakwater turbine that converts wave motion into electricity. Oh. So our turbine aims to solve a couple different problems. The first one being coastal erosion, which is something that a lot of places such as Alaska deals with. And not only that, but we will be able to provide clean water and electricity to remote regions in small communities in Alaska. And the way that we're going to do it is not only going to be reliable, but it's also going to be cost effective.
And here's the design that we are introducing for our solution. So as you see, it's a floating device that harnesses the wave energy that comes through the water. And this is primarily designed for at least backup emergencies like blackouts and other various weather storms. In our next slide, we have our competitors. Some of you may know them as like General Electric or Siemens Energy. They handle more large multi-million-dollar projects in regards to that and have a huge upcut front and also even maintenance front versus our product where in our case we have more simpler design on the next slide where we break down how it's more affordable, more easy to manufacture, more easy to maintain throughout a longer duration, and also it can be customizable for the user's needs, whether it's for electricity or storage or like fresh water.
So our target market is going to be coastal communities alongside the Alaskan coast that are extremely oil dependent and are pretty much crippled by their dependency on oil. So on our next slide, we have our finances. Excuse me. So our cost per unit is around $50,000 to $60,000. We're looking for investor funding around $1 million. Our annual energy per unit is 17,520 kilowatts per hour, and we are looking to sell that for around 20 to 30 cents profit margin. Our annual savings per household is $14,000. Our community payback would be within 10 to 11 years. Our forward development and deployment is within 5 years. And we have a budget, or we are hoping for a budget between 1.8 to 2.2 million. After that, our investors are public and private sectors within government sections, specifically the U.S. Department of Energy and Department of Environmental Protection, as well as private companies such as Con Edison and the National Grid, and as well as U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski, who has shown considerable interest in this program and reusable energy as a whole. So for our conclusion, despite the cost, it's always better to be a part of the solution rather than the problem, and oil is a problem. It's just going to keep causing conflict within the world. It's going to keep going up, and renewable is something we can all use, and it will be continue to help future generations as well as ourselves. Thank you. That's good.
I'd like you to go into more detail on how this works.
Oh, we were hoping for that question.
Yeah, of course. So let's go back. So this is a picture of our turbine. So it's going to be 4 barrels, and inside each chamber, the water is going to go in, which causes the turbine to turn. And when that motion turns, there's a shaft that goes in between those barrels, which will power the generator, which in turn will create electricity, and that electricity can then be used to power desalination plants, which can provide fresh water, and during blackouts, it can also just provide communities with electricity when they need it.
So you would only use this in a sort of marine environment? Like, could you use it in a freshwater environment?
Yeah, of course. Any type of water. Any type of water is fine.
So is this an electrical generation idea, or like, I'm unclear, because, go ahead.
So yes, this is on the electrical side, and when I mean purely for generation, It's not as if it's distributing in the electricity. That would be handled by public entities similar to what we have here in New York City, like Con Edison. There's an equivalent for them also in like Alaska Electrical Energy. So for us, we're just providing the instruments for them to generate this electricity to then distribute it amongst all their communities.
So would this model be set up, so I live in a remote community, 800 people, is this gonna be our power source?
No, it's going to be one of your many power sources. Due to the fact that some already have diesel generators, this is also a backup for reliability and also can be primarily used throughout the day. It's similar to how you have solar panels. You still get your electricity from the main grid or from your main generators, but if you want to be more self-sufficient, more environmentally conscious, and more redundant, you have a backup generator on the water.
Okay. Great.
How do you take into effect natural disasters, especially on the water? So we're talking about hurricanes and tornadoes and tsunamis and different things like that. So how does this work, or does it work within that as well as a backup, considering that those usually take out the land-based electricity?
Oh, that's the perfect question for this, because that's one of its purposes. And when we say our simplified design 3-in-1, due to the fact that we can store energy. So you put it in battery storage, even when it's on a calm day like this in Alaska, or equivalent for them, you basically have energy being stored for a long durations of points for later use. So when there is like a hurricane or a big tsunami coming around, for the safety of the machine and for everyone else, it will slowly slow itself down and shut down. But due to the fact that it has stored up energy already, it can continue powering up houses for a duration of a long point of time, from at least 6 to 12 hours, until backup energy comes back online.
I think you also are probably mentioning like where it's going to be. So we have anchoring systems that are going to be used. So depending on where on the shore it's being deployed, we have a different type of anchoring system, whether that be drilling into like the bed of the water, or if it's like a coral system, there'd be different type of anchoring systems to make sure that when a hurricane or a storm comes in, it doesn't just blow away, and it also doesn't harm the marine life that is around that area. So that is definitely being taken into account, especially with an area like Alaska, where the water is so turbulent.
There was a section that talked about buybacks, and I think about the STAR program in terms of how like the power generated there. Essentially, so my question is oriented on, is this something that the city, state, federal government, essentially they will build out a program that if enrolled into the program, there is a benefit to the customer, so to speak, so that there is incentive for them to even want to engage into the program?
Yes. So when we mentioned Senator Murkowski, she recently just had her act, I believe, passed through the Senate and the House for herself, the FLOW Act, which allows for more wave energy technology such as this for her region, Alaska. She's been a very big proponent of it for the time her tenure so far in the Senate. And this is something that they have actively, especially in their own ISO, which is mostly the regulating body for electrical energy, promoting reliability and diversification of different sources of energy for the communities. And they already have buyback programs for companies to develop. Even our own competition is ways for them to continuously find new startups and to fund these buyback programs, so they have more diversity of choices that may not affect the environment and are easier for these coastal communities and inlet communities.
To continue with your question, Alaska is also a state that has shown its very renewable energy conscious. I believe it's the Kodiak Islands, I could be pronouncing that wrong, that is right now 100% powered by renewable energy, and they specifically use hydropower and wind turbines. And right now in Alaska, I think it's 70% of the renewables comes from hydropower. So they create a lot of tax breaks, they create a lot of tax incentives, and they have a lot of programs to get companies and researchers to get invested with renewable energy, specifically in hydropower.
So I know you said Alaska, but as I'm looking at this, I'm also thinking about Louisiana and Florida and the South, where we get a lot of things that can happen that would need something like this. what are you guys looking at in terms of expansion? Or have you thought about other areas, or are you primarily like Alaska and that's it?
No, we have thought about other areas because we also have, when we were beginning the project, we were deciding which is the most optimal location we can have. We even looked at states like Oregon and Washington, and we also looked at some Caribbean islands like the Bahamas or Trinidad and Tobago, and even like an island state like Hawaii or a U.S. territory like Puerto Rico. And we even thought about how that can be implemented in regards to these states' grids already, and places even like Florida themselves, and even Louisiana, to make sure they have proper redundancies in place just in case of blackout. But due to the fact they're not as connected like Alaska is to anything, they have at least redundancies within by neighboring states.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Just something that's special is I worked with the MECC team, 2 years ago, where we went to Portland, I believe, in DC the year before that. And what's special about this is it's a combination of engineering students working with business students. So using the engineering mind as well as the business mind to create projects like this. There's something that's special that happens here at Manhattan. So with that, again, thank you, the MECC team. All right. The next presenter will be Catalyst Labs. You have a PDF. So it's, figure out a PDF. Here we go. Here you go. It's not. It's not showing. Sorry. I don't know why it's not showing. You see it? No, I don't know if the connection went bad.
Yeah, technology. Pardon the technical difficulties. Did you guys present right here?
No, he did with a different different company though.
All right. Catalyst Labs.
All right, hello everybody. We are Catalyst Labs, and we are building the engine behind student innovation. My name is Nathan Noble. I am the founder and CEO, currently studying mathematics and finance here at Manhattan University. I'll pass it over to Sam.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam Angela. I'm a student here at Manhattan University studying finance, and I'm also a co-founder. And we have two amazing co-founders who are students at the University of Michigan as well. And we recently brought on Johnny Azik officially as our board advisor. He's been instrumental to our growth so far, and he previously worked at A16Z, Scale AI, McKinsey, and he's currently a VC investor at Outsiders Fund right now. We have 3 rockstar interns and 10 campus leaders as well throughout the country at universities.
Okay, so what is Catalyst Labs? So Catalyst Labs is a startup incubator and venture studio built for students by students. So a couple metrics to give you a sense of where we're at. Currently, we're sitting at 500 applications for our inaugural cohort, summer 2026, 1,500 LinkedIn followers, over 1 million impressions across socials, and we are sitting at around $100,000 in funding this far. So the 3 main pillars of how Catalyst Labs work. We have the non-dilutive fellowship. This is the core of what we're building. Each startup receives a $5,000 stipend with 0 equity taken. We believe that supporting first and investing later allows founders to make more sustainable progress. Secondly, the venture studio. This encompasses hands-on execution support, legal templates, financial models, and mentorship from our partner investors and previous founders. Lastly, Catalyst Sonar. This is our internal proprietary software that we are developing, which is a 2-sided platform to connect very early stage student founders with institutional investors. We currently have 10 VCs on the beta and over 100 startups on the platform as well. Okay, so why did we create Catalyst Labs? So we saw a major problem in the innovation ecosystem. Firstly, no capital. Over 48% of young entrepreneurs cite that student debt is their #1 barrier to building a business. Secondly, lack of infrastructure. There's no structured pathway from campus idea to funded company. Many programs lack real capital. And finally, no discovery. Great student startups often die in obscurity, and investors can't find them until it's too late. So, why existing players are missing this market? Traditional VCs. Many VCs will often ignore students until post-graduation, and the minimum check sizes are too large, and they lack campus presence. University accelerators are often underfunded and lack real capital to deploy, limited to one campus, and prevent startups from introducing institutional capital. Sorry.
So there's definitely a generational shift taking place right now. Around 24% of 18 to 24-year-olds are entrepreneurs currently, and around 50% of young Americans would like to think about creating a startup. And so we really believe that a lot of these brilliant students at these universities have amazing ideas, but they don't really have the capital and the resources to go out and take that from an idea to an amazing company. And that's kind of what we're trying to solve here. And so if you take a look right here, these are a lot of companies you're probably very familiar with. And they actually started as students at these universities. And so that's kind of what we're trying to streamline and really start to identify these founders early on.
Okay, so a little bit more into the issue and why we founded Catalyst Labs. So this is a little bit of a personal story. First, I would like to note that 75% of VC-backed student startups come from just 20 universities across the US. This leaves over 4,000 colleges in the US alone with very talented founders that are being completely overlooked by institutional venture capitalists. So how are we fixing this? And I kind of touched on this briefly, and we'll go in more to the revenue generation side of things. But as Sam mentioned, we're building a national campus network of scouts across universities. We currently have 10 network leaders embedded at universities across the country who are actively scouting for founders as we speak. The fellowship first model, the non-dilutive 5K stipends remove the financial barriers and allow students to cover things like rent, food, everything else that's going on in their lives to go all in on their startup. And lastly, again, the Catalyst on our platform, our software that connects institutional investors with these very early stage student founders.
So we have 3 core revenue streams right now, and we do have a sustainable path to cash flow. And so near term, there is equity upside. Each cohort is going to have 4 startups. And at the end of the summer, at the end of the cohort, we would have the discretion to invest up to $25,000 through the form of a SAFE. So there's definitely some upside there. Medium term, Catalyst Sonar. This is our proprietary deal sourcing platform. And so through all of our applications that come in, we're really looking to monetize that and really allow them to get exposed to some of those institutional investors. And long term, Catalyst would like to raise a fund one, and then we'd run on a simple 2 and 20 structure. So 2% management fee on committed capital, and then 20% carry on any returns that are generated.
Thank you.
We're done on time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Questions?
I wanted to understand a little bit more on the stipend. Specifically, what is the use case for the stipend? Because you mentioned for food and things like that. Just like a better understanding of that.
Sure. So the way that we're talking about it is it's used to cover everything that a student has to worry about in life, their expenses such as rent, food, all of that, which indirectly allows them to invest more into their company. So in a way, it covers, everything that happens in their life, and it also helps support their company.
So the reason I asked that question is because let's just think about state filing fees. Most people would love to consider LLC. The total cost for that comes down to about $2,400, so that's half the stipend gone.
To form an LLC?
So there's a piece for an affidavit, and then there's the piece of filing. The filing is $205 here in New York, but you have to get an affidavit, which means you have to file in a newspaper for 2 weeks. That part costs up to $2,000. And it can be a little bit more. So I'm, again, going back to consideration for a company and getting a stipend and wondering whether is the stipend going to be used for the business or not, or is it going to use so that the student can sit there and, as you're trying to communicate, lock in to be able to focus and be able to build their idea. But I'm also wondering on the legality of the structure and whether or not that would be viewed as a legitimate business, just because, again, in terms of accessing capital, you do have to have these formal structures in place.
Yeah. So, in one way or another, the money will be going to the business. We like to discuss it in a way that resonates with students. Not many students can afford to go out and, as you mentioned, spend $2,000 setting up a business. So this allows them to do that by covering everything else that they have to worry about in life in one way, shape, or form. If it goes directly into the business, it's still indirectly impacting all of their other expenses throughout their lives. So.
You have anything, Mike?
Can you go back to the page where you talk about the revenue? So who's going to pay to run it?
So we've already raised around $100,000 to cover the stipends from other investors. And as we mentioned...
That's not my question.
Okay, who's going to pay?
What's the revenue?
Oh, okay. So there's 2 revenue sources. Firstly is Catalyst Sonar. This is our proprietary deal flow platform. So other investors will pay to have access to that deal flow that we go to these universities and get. And in exchange, the startups can have more introductions to these VCs and raise
So
capital
it's a
for them.
subscription fee based. What's your forecasted rate for that?
So right now we're running the beta with the investors. So it's like around $1,000 a month. And the reason that we decided to do this is because we had many other investors that were already paying us to go out into these universities and help generate deal flow for them. So we thought we would just streamline the platform and create just like a go-to place online that they can have access to everything.
Did you look at Gust?
Yeah, we looked at a lot of different competitors. The difference with this is that for the investors, it's invite only. So not anyone can just get on there. So it's not like...
Well, Gust, you can't get on. You have to be a member.
Yeah, well, this is just for our own proprietary deal flow. So all the startups that are listed on the platform, the data is not anywhere else on the internet yet. So for example, as we mentioned, the scouts that we have at these universities, the moment that an idea is incepted for a startup, they're on the platform. So these institutional investors can get access to them way earlier than they otherwise would have been able to.
So if let's say I'm a healthcare investor.
Sure.
Am I going to be able, and I become a member, am I going to be able to log on and look at prospective companies that might fit my typical deal flow?
Yeah, so everything is completely customized and being able to sort by many different data metrics. So for example, we have school, stage, industry, all of their traction metrics, and everything updates automatically. So like as their users increase, for example, that will that will show on the platform as well.
I would encourage you to look at Gust,
Mhm.
because you know, these kind of businesses, you gotta have a moat,
Yeah.
right? Like what makes you unique?
Mhm.
So Gust already does about 60% of this,
Mhm.
but they don't do it where you're talking about it. So it's a good idea.
Mhm.
But when I use Gust, I'm looking for companies to invest in the areas that I have some perception that I
Mhm.
know something about,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So that's the way people are going to use these
Yeah.
systems. They're not just going to look for good deals or
Of
good
course,
ideas.
yeah. The moat is essentially that if you were on the platform, you will have access before anyone else would, essentially, because we are going to these universities. For example, tomorrow, we're heading to Johns Hopkins University, and so we'll onboard around 50 startups onto the platform tomorrow. And these are startups that are not even in the process of raising capital yet. And so then our investors will have access to them at that moment. And so then they can, if you know, they find, for example, a healthcare startup that they're interested in, they can immediately start talking to them before any other capital providers.
30 seconds.
If you can quickly just, you know what, you can't. And it's okay. I think I have enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Catalyst Labs. As we transition, our next group will be St. Abel. St. Abel has the props as well. Okay. Baby, here you go. All right. Just as a reminder, you have 5 minutes. All right.
So hello everyone, I'm Jay.
I'm Anastasia.
My name is Fabian. I'm the brand owner of St. Abel. So our mission statement here is to create timeless and luxury through garments, and the point of it is to be passed down from one generation to the next. Right here you can see some of the current mock-ups that I'm working with. So right now I'm currently inspired by nature and my environment and really trying to hone in what I see in my everyday life.
So for right now, our quality and identity, in general, you get 7 average uses of a piece of clothing before people throw it out because of fast fashion and just the lack of quality. And it's reported 37% of people are less likely to buy luxury goods because of how expensive it is. So for the current climate, as I had mentioned, fast fashion is poor quality and bad sustainability, which is where the market is currently going for customers. It's really important for sustainability. And on the other end is luxury, which is really expensive and it really prices out the younger demographic. And 2 in 3 customers are willing to pay that premium for that quality and sustainability, which is where St. Abel comes in. We want to offer that quality and we want to offer that sustainability without that high price.
So my senior year, I was able to work with Lotus Fashion Group, which I'm really grateful for. They allowed me to show off my designs and have models walk through. So within that came an opportunity to work with a client from France. He asked me if I could design a suit within a week's notice. It was for one of the largest films festival in the south of France. And it taught me a lot. It led me to pay attention more to detail and work with things that I've never done. So this is me when I was a little baby boy. My father, as I was growing up, I'd play a lot of video games. He'd call me over. He'd be like, I had to give you something. And he would give me his Banana Republic clothes that were like, he used when he was like 20, 21. And he told me, I think you've grown into this. So it was always really nice and it was very sentimental to me. And that's also part of the why. Like, I really just want to build something and create things that I'm happy to put on and one day give to my child. So the people, again, is my generation, the generation to come, and start off with small batches of clothes that they're able to have and one day pass that along as well.
So we plan starting May 1st, walk again with Lotus on this fashion show. And we'll be walking about 6 to 8 products that we've been working on, which will later be in June 1st, be released. That will be our first official drop. After Lotus, we plan on literally conquering campus. So we'll be talking to micro creator partnerships. These are smaller people with about 1,000 to 2,000 followers in social media platforms. On our campus specifically, we'll be talking to them to promote the brand and make sure that starting today in this specific room with our students, alumni, faculty, we make sure the entire Manhattan University population knows about St. Abel. Then later in the summer, about July and August, we'll be looking into fashion shows in the city. Areas like Brooklyn and Manhattan, where we've targeted larger audience, but still just New York City, because we want people to know that St. Abel is a brand that has just begun, but is here to stay.
So for the finances, we have our product costs. These are based off of the MOQ, which is the minimum order quantity, between $50 and $100. So for the clothing, there's different styles that we would offer, and then the personalization that ranges from embroidery and different types of prints. And then for shipping, this is taking into account the importation from our manufacturing in Portugal, and then also the shipping that would happen locally. Obviously, that would vary due to different circumstances. And then the brand experience. We really want to make sure that this brand is able to identify with the customers. So we would be offering a card signed by our owner and different little gifts or trinkets to make sure that the customer is really getting that experience, which ranges from keychains, stickers, or pins. For our advertising costs, these are a one-time cost. We have our marketing research, which would be based which would be finding data for different marketing platforms that we would need to get to our customers. And then events, which Jay had mentioned before, which were the things in Brooklyn and the fashion show in Manhattan, as well as the CPM, which is cost per impression. This also varies between the platforms, either Google or other social media platforms. And then for sales, we have a profit of 37 to 43%. We offer the same quality that our competitors do, but we offer it at a more affordable price. And that's what St. Abel's all about. On to our next slide, which gives us some examples.
And these are more of the pieces that I worked on. And if you see this gentleman right here, he reached out to me again in a week's notice, and I was able to get that done. And it all came out fantastic, and I look forward to doing it again. You guys always invest in yourself. Why not invest into St. Abel?
Judges?
If I was to walk into a store, why St. Abel over anything else?
Because we're sourcing high quality material that most brands highly mock up to like 200 to 3% to 200 to 300% net profit margin, which is not really what I'm looking to do. I really just want to make something that is high quality, that is still affordable, that gives that luxury to the daily person.
We're also giving an image. We're not just selling something that's like another piece of clothing. We want our customers to really identify with the brand, and we're selling a story. It's Fabian's story of like his father and everything, so we really want that connection.
And how are you guys actively selling that story?
We're actively selling it with the designs that he puts into place. You can obviously...
I'd say I'm actively selling that story through my attention to detail, my designs, because when my father handed me these pieces, like I look at them, I'd feel them, and I try them on, and sometimes I'd go to sleep with them, but I just keep it all with me and actively, like, intentionally looking at the designs, what I do, and try to put that love, that same passion into the garment, because I don't want to put something out there that I wouldn't wear myself.
Okay, so I'm going to phrase it a different way. How are you taking that story, that feel, that experience that you had that you want everyone else to really feel? And how are you making that public so that people can identify and really relate to a St. Abel piece?
So we have our first drop in June 1st, and right before that we have an advertising campaign, and we'll have a short video available on social media platforms, whatnot, stickers, where we really present what we're dropping. Depends on the theme of the actual collection, which is for him to decide. But through the team, we share the story. We let them know that a short graphic video of 10 to 15 seconds where we explain to you what's the idea, what are we doing over here, what are we trying to get from the customers, what we want them to get from the brand.
Can you explain the connection between luxury and price?
So, luxury is, on the economic side of it, luxury is usually goods that's, I guess, fulfill a certain purpose, but the price, they are priced such that they won't appeal to the vast majority of the community. Usually, they are actually sort of like, what's the term, conceived for people to spend more on them. Not so much for the functionality of the item. So luxury is something that's not meant to fulfill like, I don't know, the simple purpose of like just having a shirt on. It's really just for you to sort of like brag about having, oh, I have a shirt from this brand on. That's like the whole purpose of luxury. Where St. Abel comes in is we want people to have a shirt on to which they can feel like, oh, this is a St. Abel shirt. This is a shirt that if I were a designer, that's what I would do. This is a shirt that I feel comfortable giving to my son, brother, or sort of like a relative.
So I think you're a little cynical on the term luxury. And I think you should drop luxury for quality, because you're cynical about luxury. Because typically you would say, well, a watch is a watch. Why would anybody spend $100,000 on a watch? Because all it does is tell you the time, right? So whether it's a Swatch watch or a Patek Philippe, they do all the same things. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to have a message that says luxury, but at a low price. You're going to have a consumer confusion because consumers perceive things that are at a higher price to be a higher value. But there are some brands that make good quality, long-living products, and that's what they sell. They don't use the word luxury, and you shouldn't use luxury either if you're cynical about it as a marketing term.
I think what's being proposed here is what is the story that you're telling people and what is their interpretation. With that, I want to ask, who are your competitors?
So mainly my competitors are other small brands or people that are just starting, but you have Fear of God, you have other small brands, because I'd say those are the real competitors, because now what I see is, or what I used to see a lot was these small brands, they pop off, they have a lot of traction, and then they kind of just slow down because they don't have the same passion or love for it. It's shown in their work and it's shown in the product. So I feel like this is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I go for walks for, listen to music to, that I come up with these concepts. I look at these manufacturers, I sample them, which somewhere over there, if you want to take a look at it and feel, and I prioritize that. I want something long lasting. And from what I've seen, from when I stopped buying clothes, it's not the same. It's not what they used to offer.
For the competitors, for the market research, we'd also be looking at data points of brands that are in New York that we'd really be competing. So that would go into our one-time cost to really figure out who and what other brands are out there that we have to go against.
Okay, this is more of a suggestion for you. I want y'all to really hone in on your story. right? Your story is going to be your customer experience. It's going to be how they know you, how they feel you, how they are able to connect with why you do what you do and why you're creating what you're creating. And if you're not able to really do that in a way that your audience, your customer base is going to receive that, it's going to be a detriment to your ability to sell. So I want you to just kind of hone in on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, St. Abel. You can leave there. You're good. You're good. You're good. Last but not least, as we getting ready to get to this point, is rest and dress. I really do like that the audience is really cheering on these student founders. Really, thank you for your support and supporting them, because this isn't easy, coming up here, presenting for 5 minutes, sharing your ideas, sharing your passion. So again, thank you for coming up here. Thank you for all of the student startups for coming up here and presenting as well. With that, rest and dress.
Good afternoon, investors. Good afternoon, guests. My name is Anthony DeCastro, and I am the CEO of Rest and Dress. So, our logo, Rest and Dress, with our motto, dress to impress, stressless. So, basically what we do is we design AI integrated closets for big homes. For example, we have our walk-in closet, which is our base closet. We have a panel closet, and we have an integrated closet. Our product mission, has anyone, with a show of hands, has anyone ever walked outside and it's been extremely cold and you're in shorts and flip-flops? So we're here to reduce that, and we're here to change that. So we're here to simplify your daily outfit decisions by using an AI-powered tool, by using your phone to upload your wardrobe, and to use personalized details such as your height, your weight, and your size, such as your hip. Just by using your cell phone, taking a photo of your beautiful face with a beautiful shirt on, you will get outfit recommendations based on weather and occasion, and you can save time, reduce stress, and always look your best. So, as I stated, our walk-in closet is a generated closet that you can walk into with fully glass panels with a touch screen that you can modify your wardrobe based on the weather and the occasion. So you wake up in the morning, you don't have to go on your phone, you don't have to check the weather app. All you got to do is wake up, touch your closet, and your closet will tell you what to wear. Isn't that nice? Saves you time. If you're late to a meeting, this is very efficient. Our second closet is a panel closet, is also an AI integrated closet with a bigger touch screen. The only problem is, well, the only good thing is that it's a slide door, so if you don't want your closet being exposed, you can just slide the curtain, and all you have is a mirror, a flat screen that turns into a mirror once it's off. And now we also have an integrated closet, which is a well-developed AI tool, which literally is a touch screen, but once you touch your screen twice, it disappears and it turns into a glass module. So, our marketing plan. We position Rest and Dress as a premier high-end smart closet solution. We're target affluent, tech-savvy consumers who value organized and personalization. We focus on smart home integrations and sustainability trends, as well as partner with real estate developers and design firms to place your product in luxury homes, so it will come with your home. We would also showcase our products in showrooms and tech retail stores by highlighting product options, as well as using digital marketing, social media, and influencers to build brand awareness by using fashion enthusiasts and working professionals like everyone here in a couple of years, as well as leveraging trends in AI, customization, and modern design to stand out. So, you may ask, who is our target market? Our target market focuses on upper to middle class, and we would also like to target tech-savvy and fashion-conscious individuals. Why would we do that? To appeal to professionals and use smart homes as well. Our core values are convenience, organization, and personalization, And we would also like to target online consumers interested in tech-driven products, just like you are to your smartwatch, and just recently the Meta glasses that came out. You can record and walk down the street. So we would also like to have a showroom feature which will allow you to try out your outfits virtually based on your body shape without even having to put on your article of clothes. Has anyone ever been to a store and the person comes up to you and be like, sorry, the changing rooms are closed, you can't try out your fit? Basically, if they integrate one of these tech screens into their stores, they don't have to deal with that problem anymore. You can stand in front of a mirror, scan your body, and you will get your clothes on your body without even having to try it on. So our relevant competition. Our relevant competition is California Closet's Closet Factory Inspired Closets Container Stores, which provides a custom closet design and storage solution, but not AI integrated. We also have A Closet Index and Style Books, which are apps and not even AI integrated closets. And indirect competitors are IKEA, Home Depot, Lowe's, Crate and Barrel, that just sell model like furniture and DIY options to make your own closet. And our differential advantage is an AI-powered smart closet that knows your body, style, and preference, and it generates personalized outfits instantly based on the weather and the occasion, and combines technology with luxury design for a premier at-home experience. Why do we stand out, may you ask? Well, competitors offer either storage or basic outfit apps, but not both. Most closets are static and not personalized, and our product is fully integrated, smart, and tailored to you as a consumer, and we provide a seamless at-home styling experience. Our key advantage, your closet knows you, you know your closet, saving time and eliminating daily stress. Here is our prototype of our mobile app that will be also paired with the Amazon Alexa. Alexa, good morning, what should I wear this morning? And some of our references, and thank you very much for your time.
Judges?
We think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm with them on, I think it's interesting, it's a good idea. My first question is, how is the Container Store your competitor?
Well, Container Store, they offer like sleek module designs of closets that you can have into your home. So they would work with real estate developers to have these closets already integrated into their homes. So with my closet, we would come in with the closet and the AI power tool to support the touchscreen.
Good answer.
Go back a slide or two.
Of course.
I'll tell you when to stop. Go back. There. Stop. Upper middle class consumers, tech savvy, fashion conscious individuals. What's your plan on getting this in front of them and making them want to really like go, wow. Like we're sitting here and I'm like, wow, I could use something like that.
Well,
but what would, outside of this menu, how would you do that?
That's a great question. So we also have marketing tools such as TikTok, Instagram, but I wouldn't just do that. I would go into, like, for example, when gentlemen go out to get a suit and get them tailored to themselves, they're looking for fashion and style. And we could also go into fashion shows, for example. Let's say a person wants to try out an outfit at a fashion show without having to try it on. He or she can just stand in front of a glass mirror, touch the screen, and it would put on the outfit for them. So I feel like just getting the product out there, just having prototypes in showrooms and fashion shows, I feel like that would be a great idea.
And do upper middle class consumers frequent those kind of places?
I would say so, yeah. Like if you, I was just looking at the Louis Vuitton fashion show. If you look at the front row, you only see CEOs, CMOs of companies, and big heads such as Pharrell Williams and other celebrities.
So if I have to buy a new pair of glasses today, I go onto Warby Parker or somebody like that, and they give me a version of what those glasses would look like on me.
Okay.
So if you think about that, do you think about that you've got to go buy a new ski jacket? How's that ski jacket going to look on me? Is it going to really fit? Am I going to have flexibility and things like that? I just wonder if your concept, one of the problems with selling stuff, right, is because I know there's a training mirror that you can train with,
Correct.
right? So the problem is the technology fades. And I just wonder if your concept, you've ever thought about it, is that to get some, think about all the millions and millions of dollars of returns because things don't actually fit or look right. So if I can buy that ski jacket or go online and they can use your technology to impose that ski jacket on me, and I could see it maybe on my screen of my monitor, that technology is very, very valuable because you're saving people from buying in returns. And I mean, the billions of dollars in returns is staggering, when you think about Amazon. So stuff is tough to get people to invest in. Software is easier to get people to invest in. So I just challenge you to take your idea up a little bit.
Okay.
And if you can sell to Louis Vuitton that people would try on their garments at home without buying them, you might have a really like a winning idea, but I could be wrong too, so.
Thank you.
And how do you account for the different body shapes and measurements? Because there isn't a one-size-fit-all.
Correct. So with the app that we have already prototyped, basically what you would do is you would take a measuring tape, or there's a measure app on your phone where you can go from head to toe with your body and you can measure how tall you are, how wide you are. There will be measurement tools on the app itself that will measure. Where you take a photo in front of the mirror, and then from there you can just measure and you can stretch out, just like the measure app, the width, your height, your hip size, etc. So it would already have your measurements from head to toe incremented into the app, and they would also take knowledge with the data that we already have in our app of the amount and size of clothes that you have. So like, let's say you have a size large from H&M, but you have a size medium from Adidas. It will take the measurement converter and already convert and have a general sense and an idea of how much, and the dynamics of the measurements.
I'm gonna echo Mark and Mike. I'm sorry.
Go by anything.
I'm gonna echo him because I think this is more software than it is actual physical product. And I think from a software perspective, it may be more enticing. Yeah. But I like it.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to agree with them on, just think about it this way, what you mentioned the meta classes. Essentially, do I actually have to spend thousands on reinventing my own closet, meaning construction, all these different things, or can I just put some glasses on and see my reflection? I think it's innovative, and it's a great idea. I just think the IP is in the wrong place.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rest and Dress. Also, just like to say thank you to all of the other participants. Thank you to Zoner. Thank you to the MECC team. Thank you to Catalyst Labs and St. Abel. Now, the judges have the hard decision of figuring out who the winners are. And so from there, we're going to take a little intermission, maybe about 10 to 15 minute intermission for the judges to deliberate in another room and come back and let everyone know who's the 13th Annual Innovation Challenge winners are. present for 5 minutes of your ideas and some of your deep thoughts. And so again, I commend and congratulate everyone who participated in the Innovation Challenge. I know there was a wealth of knowledge shared by the judges, and again, also grateful for the judges in terms of their participation, as well as their recommendation support for the student startups. And so with that, I want to hand it over to Dean Gurgis in terms of who is the third place winner, or unless you have other words.
No, I think. Okay, it has been a great competition, and the quality of the project is impressive. Third place, Itch Water Turbine for the prize of $2,000.
The MECC team, that's y'all. Yeah.
I'm just the roadie. Grishma.
There you go. Turn sideways.
Very nice.
Any feedback, any final thoughts from the judges for the MECC team?
Any feedback? Oh, you were doing it, Juliet?
Go with this, guys, right? I loved your presentation, and that's where we're at, right? Or is this a general?
This is general.
Oh, general, okay. I just want to tell you one fun fact about entrepreneurship. The average entrepreneur is 37 years old in the United States. So you have time. Okay? What I love about entrepreneurship here at Manhattan is that we're trying to put real practical use to what we're learning in the classroom. And when you leave here and you're sitting in your first job, and maybe it's, an entry-level job, and you start looking for opportunities, most entrepreneurial opportunities come from within the industry you're working in. So if you're working for M&M Mars and you're in the candy business and you see an idea, that's where entrepreneurship typically starts, in an industry that you have been exposed to. So keep going, keep looking. Most entrepreneurs are not 20 years old, and I have to tell you that I have more fun at this event than any other event I go to all year. So thank you.
It's yours. Thank you. Again, and so after we announce all of the winners, we want all of the startups to actually stay. And again, this is a time for like networking and building. You have amazing judges who are in different industries, so take advantage of this time here as well, even after the winners are announced. And so with that, the second place winner?
Second place winner is Rest and Dress for the prize of $3,000.
Any feedback from the judges?
So what I want to say is, in my experience, I've judged for a lot of business plan competitions. It's always an opportunity. A lot of what wins ultimately comes down to viability in an idea, and it just comes down to actual practice and understanding what's going to work, what makes sense, and what is appealing to other people. Just to echo on a point of entrepreneurship does take time. It's because you have to work on your idea. Research and development can take a very long time, but ultimately, just got to put your best foot forward and deliver to the practice.
Thank you, Pedro. And just to echo what Pedro said, it is important to actually build this idea and take your time. This is a marathon. This isn't a race in terms of building your idea. I know we want success very quickly. We want microwave success, but sometimes like the quote says, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. So really, yeah, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. So things take time, and really building the ideas, modifying the ideas, pivoting when you need to pivot is super important, and using this space, using this time, using this competition as a low stakes environment to actually get things right, or just to mess up, and really tweak your idea before you graduate and go out there and really, where it really counts. So take this time, take this opportunity to really take advantage of all of the resources, insights, relationships that are available to you here. And with that, what we're all been waiting for, who is the first place winner of the 13th Annual Innovation Challenge is?
Zoner with the prize of 5,000.
I don't know if it's the room, but I think this is like the Mike. I think Mike, you've been here for all these years. I think this is like the loudest it's been at an innovation challenge for a winner. I don't know if it's the room or it's the crowd, but congratulations again to Zoner. Feedback from the judges.
So, first of all, great job and congratulations, Zoner, on your first place win, but also congratulations to everyone who actually stood up here and presented. You may not have won this particular innovation challenge, but do not give up. All of you had great ideas. All of you had great things that could actually really take shape, take form, and take hold. And I think that is the true essence and spark of entrepreneurship. And I don't want you to walk away and think anything bad or feel like, oh my God, I didn't win. I want you to applaud yourselves for getting up here, for having the thought to be able to put something like this together, to manifest it, because even if you don't win this one, there are others and others and others, and there's someone who is going to see you at the right place at the right time, and you're going to get more than $5,000. So I want you all to really keep that in mind. And just don't ever give up. If this is truly what you want to do as you're finishing out your collegiate studies, as you go into your first jobs, as some of you may go straight into business ownership depending on your pathway, just don't give up and continue to fail forward over and over again and keep improving upon it until you hit those successes that will eventually come.
Well, Hey guys, thanks to all of you for coming. Thanks for our sponsor. And if you have a great idea, make sure that you will be part of our Innovation Challenge in 2027. And this will include our event. Thank you for coming.
Can we get all of the participants who all pitched for a group photo, please?
And the judges.
As well as the judges.